one of the greatest atrocities of world history is the rape of Nanking. All human beings are capable of committing these kinds of atrocities, not just the Japanese or the Germans. I think all human beings have this capacity for great evil if put under the right social and political circumstances. The rape of Nanking was something that always could happen, and it did happen, and we have to learn from history if we want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
The Asian Holocaust is a shocking example of humanity at its worst. The scars, both mental and physical, still affect so many of the victims and their families, and because of this, questions need to be raised. Beyond just asking how and why this happened, we must why it took so long for this to even reach our attention. We must ask why it remains a relatively unknown part of our history. We must ask why, despite all the first-hand accounts, it is still denied by the perpetrators, by the Japanese ultra-nationalists, and even by some high-level Japanese government officials, while the surviving victims live on, often impoverished, with the devastating effects of the atrocities still weighing them down. We want to make sure that these catastrophes are never forgotten and will never happen again. War has always been the breeding ground for such atrocities. We would like to express our strong wish for peace. Now we would like to invite student representatives to come up to the stage to join us in the peace bell tolling ceremony. Each representative will sound the bell 3 times to commemorate the estimated 30 million victims perished during the Asia-Pacific War.
I'd like to thank Ms. Ho and everybody from BC Alpha for organizing this symposium and for giving us the opportunity to learn about the Asian-Pacific War. Before this, I did not know much about the residual tensions between the Chinese and the Japanese stemming from these atrocities. But by having events such as this, hopefully we'll be able to work toward a peaceful solution by encouraging mutual understanding, by seeking justice, and by commemorating the victims of the Asian Holocaust.
And I would like to especially thank all of the victims and survivors of the Asian Holocaust for the bravery they have to share their stories with us. This symposium has been very impactful for me, and I've been able to gain a better grasp and understanding for my relatives and all of the obstacles they have overcome. This symposium has inspired me to ask more questions about my heritage and for Asian history in general. And I would hope that everyone feels the same way so that we can gain a better understanding and work towards amending the sentiments amongst our family and friends.
It's a unique experience to be able to connect a tragic piece of history with my own heritage, but it undoubtedly offers an eye-opening perspective. Although emotional and physical scars left behind from this tragedy can never heal, I feel that it is through reconciliation that we can ensure that new trauma is not experienced. Hearing about the terrors endured by the victims of the Asian Holocaust is devastating. However, it is crucial that we acknowledge the mistakes made in the past in order to prevent future mishaps from happening. I am grateful for this symposium for helping me better understand the impact of the Asia-Pacific War and the importance of reconciliation as a means of continuing our ways of peace.
Previously, we have learned that the Second World War started when Germany invaded Poland in 1939, which resulted in Great Britain and France declaring war. If we approach the Second World War from the Asian Pacific, fragments of this war took root years before, around the 1930s. Millions of Jewish people have suffered and died at the hands of the Nazis during the Holocaust, but the atrocities committed by the Imperial Japanese Army during the Asian Holocaust resulted in more than twice its deaths. Although the murders of the innocent agents are well documented and taught in many history books, the Japanese government and public continues to be arrogant about this matter. I believe that it is utmost important that the war in Asian Pacific receives more attention and people should learn about these atrocities to learn about the past mistakes in order to prevent them from happening again in the future. Thank you.
World War II is a tragedy that led to millions and millions of deaths. To all the sacrifices that were made in World War II, they collectively give us a lesson, a very important lesson. Instead of pointing fingers at one another, we should learn to negotiate and resolved through peaceful means. Through the method, we hold no weapons, nor do we plant the seed of fear. Together, we can all learn from history and hold dear to us how privileged we are to live in this era of peace. As a sign of our solidarity, let us ring a bell for peace today, in tribute of those in World War II, and work together for a better world. Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude towards the speakers and organizers of this event for attempting to make history a more tangible subject, and also for leaving us a long-lasting understanding and recognition of this forgotten Asian Holocaust. And for many of us here today, including me, this topic being discussed today is a rather upsetting one. However, as we eventually collectively aim to work towards a more peaceful and brighter future, it is our responsibility and privilege today to examine history in its rawest form. It is the least we can do. And lastly, I believe it is stories like these which remind us that we are always only one decision and one mistake away from chaos and barbarity. And as we seek to become more involved members of the world community, it is important for us to constantly reflect on what are we doing that is making the world a more peaceful home. Thank you.
I'd like to personally thank the people at BC Alpha, Ms. Kern, Ms. Chung, and Ms. Ho, who have worked so hard to make this symposium happen, allowing us as a younger generation to gain a deeper understanding of the significance of events like the Asian Holocaust. 非常感谢你们的辛苦和努力. These are definitely issues that are not spoken about enough, and because of this lack of exposure, the truth that deserves to be told is not being brought to light or pushed away as lies. Denial is out there, and our responsibility as the spare generation is to dispute that and to make sure that these stories continue to be told as truth, so history does not repeat itself, and to try to work towards reconciliation.
I want to thank everyone who made this symposium possible because of the opportunity to learn more about my culture's history, especially with darker subjects such as this. I believe that bringing awareness to the injustices of the Asian Holocaust not only gives us insight into our own shared history, but also validates the victims' experiences and hopefully brings justice and closure to the victims and families affected by this today. Most importantly, with the ultimate goal of reconciliation in mind, I believe it is our job as a new and younger generation to learn of the mistakes and injustices of the past in order to right the wrongs together as a community to achieve peace.